Building my own family always appealed to me. To spend my lifetime with the man I love and to tie the knot with him. Dream man for me is my hubby Brett. We both have great fortune coming from wealthy homes. Our parents happen to be close and somewhat aware that since we were young, we will be husband and wife. Our families usually celebrate holidays together and even make travel plans to the same locations, thus we were really close. Childhood close friends, my father and his father treat each other like brothers. This is why the link among our family is strong and indestructible. Our mothers followed the same rule. His mother and myself live really close together. They go to tea, shop together, and show up for the same social gatherings. From we were young, Brett and I have been close. He has always been my crush. Then, following college graduation, he came clean about feeling the same. That felt like a dream come true. But Tara, Brett's sister-in-law, never particularly appreciated me. I'm not sure why, but she never treated me correctly from when we were young. Every time she would roll her eyes at me and smile. When we were in elementary school, she even started false rumors about me that were cruel. Most people have always stated Brett and I are a terrific match. Saying that statement doesn't appeal to me would be lying, since it does. I seem to be living in a fairy tale filled of love, optimism, and positive events in my life. We were dating 3 years before Brett and I were married. Our families were really supportive of us, hence our dating time was rather simple and flawless. I believe the link between our families grew closer over our friendship. We did not celebrate any holidays together, and 2 sets of family traveled all the distance. It was very fantastic. Little did I know, though, that everything was really a front covering underlying envy and hate. Between us, I felt everything was just right. Of course, Brett and I were great together, but I couldn't see that our families were not. They were merely putting on a show they enjoyed while, in fact, they hated everyone. Heard my soon-to-be mother-in-law Wendy chatting to Tara during our engagement announcement. Inside, I was having a nervous collapse. Tara, I sense a looming event. Something is about to take place. Brett summoned us here for this reason. You know we only get together on big events. This is simply another day. Tara screamed and said, "No way. She is not someone I like. She is a false, cruel person, and I will not let her to have my brother. Mom, stop it before it happens." "Of course I won't," Wendy said sharply. Hearing the hatred in Wendy's words stunned my heart. She meant something. Her like this was unprecedented for me. She had always been kind and pleasant in voice. Being with that girl, particularly with her mother, makes me miserable. I befriended her only because of your father. What your father finds appealing about the parent of that girl is unknown. Wendy hissed, "He is supposed to be our competitor, not our friend." Furthermore, her mother, her manner of speaking and dressing really irritates me. She is a try-hard tiny queen devoid of a crown, like a queen bee. Wendy detested them. Tara stamped her feet in irritation. "Me too, Mom, you say? Their false grins really irritate me. Out of our life I want them," she said. Hearing them criticize my family, my eyes grew wide. My parents have always been kind and giving to them. There had never been 1 inch of contempt or hatred displayed. We aren't phony. Actually, I enjoyed them, especially the parents of Brett. Tara despised me, but I still thought she would come to like me someday. But I understood then they were the phony ones. I turned to go when Wendy spoke once more. "Don't panic, sweetheart. They won't get Brett far from here. Should they ever get married, we will make that life terrible for that girl." My hands shook and my heart hammered. This cannot be occurring. Since I had no proof, I wanted to tell Brett all I had heard, but worry he wouldn't believe me or that he would use it the wrong way. I thus remained quiet. That evening my life began to slide downward. I was not blind to their false behavior anymore. Let me introduce myself before I dig further. I am Chelsea, a lady whose life collapsed under the rule of my in-laws and mistreatment. Before Brett and I sealed our fate at the altar, I detested them. Though I wanted to expose them both, I had no proof, so I wanted to avoid being accused of lying. Though I wanted to inform my mother, I worried it might sour their relationship. Besides that, I wanted to avoid starting a more major controversy that would compromise our wedding. I closed my mouth, so then. We were quite joyful on our wedding day. Though I previously knew about the insults and bogus therapies, everything seemed ideal. Still, I maintained a real smile as today was ours. Mine and that of my hubby. I had to savor the moment. When Wendy told us we would be living in their house, though, my attitude changed from great to disappointed. I was perplexed greatly. Brad, Chelsea, it makes us very glad you could visit our little home. I know you have always known the house really well. When you were young, Brad and you used to play here. It will always be your house, she said. I knew she was phoning it, though. I corrected, thank you, Wendy. Mom. She grinned and reached for my hand. Tara rolled her eyes, and I noticed. I started to clear my throat. Thanks, Mom, but Brad and I already want to relocate to our new house. We recently came into a city property that exactly fits us. After our honeymoon, we were supposed to relocate there. She released my hand, sighed deeply, then pushed a smile. She responded sharply, No, I won't let it. My jaw fell open. Mom, we already have this scheduled, Brett said. I want you both living in the house. That's final. You parents agreed when I spoke with them. They even thought it great that you two would be living here so we could take care of you. I forced my tears back. I wanted to run and wail. She is deciding this for us. Why is that? Couples are us. We wish for our own place. Then my mother arrived and stood behind Wendy. She grinned at both Brett and me. Chelsea, Brett, Wendy is correct. We want you both right here near us. We don't want to be apart from you two so soon, she remarked. I closed my eyes and drew a long breath. I just nodded in reply. My eyes opened to Wendy grinning at me right away. And so it began. The suffering of my life started the moment we entered their house. Brett and I were married 2 years ago today. The first several months were brilliant. Since Wendy and Tara treated me properly, I even believed that the things I overheard during their talk were false. But barely a few months after our wedding, my in-laws started mistreating me when my husband set for a 3-month business trip overseas. Particularly my sister-in-law and mother-in-law. Even my father-in-law handled me differently than in my early years. The saddest part is that all the maltreatment started when I saw Tara tucked inside my walk-in closet, snuggering a scarf into her suitcase. As I watched her in action, I faced her straightforwardly. Saying I was wrongly accusing her, she gaslighted me and called me out. She began to tell her mother and father horrible things about me at that point. My in-laws started charging me of bullying Tara. Our formerly harmonic home turned into a haven for conflict and bitterness. I became caught in the web of torture Wendy and Tara spun. 2 years passed with these charges against my husband, ignorant of them. Now Tara and I never got along since we were young. I see why. Our personalities run exactly opposite one another. Though I am an only kid, I learned to be sympathetic and understanding. Tara, on the other hand, epitribes spoilt entitlement. She enjoys claiming control over individuals she believes to be underneath her, including me. As her sister-in-law, she now constantly seeks to rule over me. One of her most favored assault strategies was invading my personal space, my closet. Thought that would be the last. I caught her once and was mistaken. She persisted in doing it. My beloved garments vanished, then Tara was showing them without regret. Approaching her about her bold intrusion of my private was useless. She delighted in her power trips, contorting the events to have me the villain in her warped story. Every confrontation made me gaslit, helpless, and unfairly blamed. One day I confronted her once more. I walked towards Tara in the living room. She was seated on the couch, looking arrogant. Also in the room were my parents-in-law, Ed and Wendy. I seized it as chance to confront their spoilt daughter. "Tara, we really ought to discuss. It concerns something that has been troubling me for some time now." Tara rolled her eyes with contempt. "Oh, we are back here once more. Chelsea, what fresh made-up accusation you have planned," she laughed at. Breathing deeply, I tried to keep my cool. "Tara, it's not manufactured. It relates to the ongoing violation of my personal space. I have been catching you several times, so I really feel you are the one missing my clothes from my closet." She grinned boldly, savoring her alleged triumph. "Wow, Chelsea, you truly are hungry. Not you. Combing tales to shift focus from your problems. Mom, Dad, you really must believe me. Chelsea harasses me." She spat, incredulous that her brother wed this woman. Wendy came right away to defend Tara, looking at me contemptuously. "Chelsea, how dare you call Tara such things? We know she would never act in such manner. She's our daughter. Give up trying to damage her name." Wendy smoked. Ed seemed divided, caught between the two camps. "Oh, Wendy, let's not hasty to judgment." Ed advised us to consider both sides of the narrative before rendering any decisions. I was weary of all of them. Though I wanted to inform them about everything, I knew they would try whatever to make me seem as the negative person. I had to contend with this on my own, since I worried my family would suffer from it. Hurrying out of the room, I said, "Fine, if you won't believe me, I'll find a way to prove it myself." As I discovered a startling discovery, the poisonous vapors of hate got stronger. My much-earned money started to vanish without notice. It became hard to overlook the terrible truth. Tara, my tormentor, was also pilfering from my savings. Besides that, my folks got in touch with me worried. They informed me our business was running financially under difficulties. Although we had strong sales, they were surprised to see the money in the bank vanished. They were upset, and my father had great suspicion about the offender. He advised me it might be my in-laws, as only Ed, my father-in-law, knew about the money kept in the bank. One could have assumed it was him. The only three of us with access to that bank account were my dad, Mom, and me. I buried the bank passbook in my walk-in closet. "Wait 1 minute, Tara." She definitely saw it. Her acts had become increasingly bold, straying from invading my personal space to transgressing the integrity of my money and family business funds. Driven by a great will to reveal Tara's actual nature and stop her rule of fear, I developed a carefully thought-out strategy. Placed marked banknotes in a hidden area precisely, ready to trap her in the one she had set for me. I put $1,000 into the company bank account. Later on in the day, I made sure Tara could hear my phony call. I acted as though I was phoning someone as soon as I found the ideal position. "Sure, I do have the money. Hey, it shows in the $1,000 family business bank account. Yes, I will forward it to you later." "Thank you." Closing the fictitious call, I said, "It was nice doing business with you." Checked to be sure she heard it. I have set up a tracker on my phone to check any dubious login to my bank account. Then, in just 3 minutes, my tracker found unwelcome phone activity from Tara's device. She perused the bank account. She had it logged on her phone, in essence. And I was correct. She'd pulled the $1,000. This was evidence. Now I had enough of proof against Tara, but I waited for her to carry out the most horrible deed. And she did. Payback time now is upon us. I saved everything by screenshot-wise. It was time to expose her with indisputable proof the depths of her evil and face her. I waited for the proper chance to unveil everything. Still another incident involving the same pattern. The room buzzed with electric tension as charges aimed right at me. Ed and Wendy, my parents-in-law, fiercely backed Tara, casting doubt on my integrity and thus left me feeling alone and deceived. But this time I stayed strong, like a lone warrior resolved to recover justice and honor. I laid a collection of data on the floor. "Look here at these pictures," I remarked. They were grabbed using a concealed camera I positioned in my closet. They obviously show Tara browsing my clothes without authorization. You were unaware of this, too. You certainly didn't. I know how you people handle the dirty work. I'm not dumb. But hold on, there is more. View these screenshots. This proves Tara has been pilfering family business funds. Ed, the most recent ones, took great care over the pictures when I delivered them to him. Wendy hardly looked at them. Wendy, these pictures are indisputable evidence. Tara has been wearing Chelsea's clothes all along and pilfers funds from their company's accounts. Wendy changed her tone from incredulity to guilt. This is not true," Wendy muttered, not sure of an explanation. I considered it to be not really significant. The money was seductive, and I simply wanted to borrow some clothes without asking. Tara said, thinking you would be the one to answer instead. Realizing they were still so self-serving even with proof, my heart dropped more. "Well, Chelsea, I suppose you got what you wanted, but this doesn't change the fact that you've been generating pointless drama and falsely accusing our daughter," Wendy remarked sharply. "I wanted something else, Wendy. I simply wanted the truth to be acknowledged. Though I had no other way to defend myself, I'm sorry if it came out as provoking drama." Ed moved forward and laid a consoling hand on my shoulder. "Chelsea, from the start we ought to have listened to you. I'm sorry for not giving your worries the respect they deserved. We will take care of this and guarantee it never resurfaced. He advised me to discuss the money with your dad. No, this is rather a major problem. My family is about to file for business bankruptcy, hence I will not let a conversation help to resolve this. That is final. I will open a case against Tara and Wendy." Panic drove Wendy to seize my hand. "Please, Chelsea, do not do this. We are a family," she begged. "Oh, indeed, now we are family?" "Though I regret the day I welcomed you as my mother-in-law, Wendy, you are not my family. Your daughter and you are abusers." The sirens went off as soon as I uttered that last phrase as the cops arrived to take Wendy and Tara into custody. When my parents showed up, they chatted. The truth opened out with relentless outcomes in the flash of dramatic disclosure. I presented the incriminating proof, the pilfers of money and the complex trap I had so deftly created. The room went quiet as the truth hung in the air, and Wendy and Tara's deed settled in reality. A fresh dawn of revenge called as the curtain closed on this phase of our life. Denounce their facade, Wendy and Tara pay for their deeds. Their ability to hide the approaching reckoning was lost. Maybe a chance for atonement as they worked through their inner darkness in treatment or counseling. Resolution hung in the air in the wake-up. Tara's unrelenting bullying left wounds that would heal and scars as evidence of resiliency. Stronger and wiser, we headed forward, the echoes of injustice fading far away. As we reconstructed the tapestry of our lives with fresh knowledge and compassion, growth and atonement blossomed in the rich ground of our common experience.